talking about spikes and individual listed stocks, let's get action from the primary market. We have a new kid on the block. Travel Food Services made its debut on the bourses today. The stock listed at a 2% premium to its issue price, and thereafter we saw a bit of a sell-off just in line when the market. We're currently seeing almost a 2% decline on that stock from its issue price of 1100. To discuss the company's outlook, we're joined by Varun Kapur, who's the CEO and Managing Director of Travel Food Services. Varun, thank you so much for joining in. Momentous day. Congratulations on the listing. Now, the question is, the last time you joined us, you said your revenue momentum will continue, your margin momentum will continue from here on because the travel in India continues. What we want to understand is how many new airports have you signed up with? And over the next few years, what are the kind of airports that are coming in terms of supply for you?
Right. No, thank you for having me on the show. It's a pleasure to be here on this day for us. Tremendous day for the business, getting listed on the stock exchanges. And last time I think you were kind enough to have me on your show, and we spoke about the business. And I think what has been truly tremendous over the last few years, I think the aviation story, right? We operate in aviation, F&B outlets and lounges as well. And the last few years have been tremendous growth. I think going forward, no doubt the same tailwinds which have been there in the business continue to be there. So talking about, we have outlets continuously opening at new airports coming in. We spoke about opportunities. We are opening shortly at the new Noida airport coming up. Navi Mumbai is opening up soon. We're opening there as well units. So there's a big amount of opportunities, no doubt, as new airports come, but also in existing airports where we run currently. We recently opened stores in Delhi airport as well. So you constantly have new outlets coming up across the country as new airports open, but in existing airports as well.
Let's get very specific. There is a Navi Mumbai airport which is coming in, and then there is one at Jewar which is coming in the north as well. Have you signed agreements with them already?
That's right. We've done agreements there. We have units opening up shortly, both expected, as you know, in the next few months, these to come live. So you'll see our units there, some of our in-house concepts, but you'll see some interesting, both leading international concepts and some of the strong national brands as well. So quite holistic outlets, as well as lounges as well in both of these airports.
Hi, Varun. Good morning and good to see you, Ben. Congratulations on listing. The journey has just begun with regard to being listed on the stock exchanges, and we look forward to having you more often. And quite a job in ringing that bell, going hammer and tongs at that one. And the younger generation as well were quite excited to be there. So all the best to you, the entire team, as well as the family. Well, that said, let's focus on growth.
So much.
As you said that you're quite confident about growth. Given the new airports that you have signed, business as well, momentum is expected to continue. So for the coming year, a mid 20% growth is doable, if you could confirm that. And margins as well should be in the vicinity of 30-35%, or would you like to look at the PAT margins, which should hover around the 20-22%? Tell us.
Right. So I think for our business, yes, no doubt you see structurally the tailwinds continue to be there. While we are shortly will be coming out with the results and talking a bit specifically about how those are trading and going on. But yes, I think the general trend in terms of our business growth, and if you see in terms of margins particularly, I think PAT may be a relevant one with our business. We've been about 20% PAT margins, thereabouts over the last 3 years, quite stable on that. So those levels we see to be quite stable for our business and continuing forward. So you will see that robust nature of, I think, aviation growth is very much palatable across, I think, Indian markets. And I think our business would be reflected of that, as you'd see, I think, in a few weeks when we come out with our results as well.
Given what you've said to us earlier, and if that trend continues, then the street is factoring in close to 500 crores in terms of PAT for FY26. But we let your numbers speak about that once you can speak about those numbers once the first quarter numbers are out as well. You've historically done about 60 to 70 outlets in terms of openings every year over the last few years. Is that trend which is likely to continue? How many are you likely to open from the QSR space and how many lounges?
Right, so we're at currently about, in terms of our business, just to give you a reflection, we were at 380 outlets roughly, when we looked at our June numbers, on the travel QSR side, 380, 390 units then. What's happened, which at the time of listing, just to share with you, and we didn't get a chance to discuss these numbers, we've actually been at 442 travel QSR outlets as of March end. We've opened a few more actually over the last 2 or 3 months as well. We've had 37 lounges. This is up from 32 lounges which were there which we had in June of last year in 24. So the business openings have been quite robust and strong. We've opened a few more stores in Delhi Airport, and including with Navi Mumbai and Noida Airport, when those come in, you'll see a significant jump up as well in the number of stores happening. So this is constantly happening in our business. As new terminals happen, new expansions happen, you'll constantly see over the next year as well that same momentum in terms of outlet openings as well.
Varun, a 500 crore net profit number looks gettable in FY26. Going by the projections, could that be the aspiration, 480 to 500 crores of net profit?
So I wouldn't comment. I think we're, possibly we're not really giving exact guidance because, I think just because we're so close to where our results will come in. But I think from a growth point of view, we've been historically, I think over, if you see kind of the 20-25% growth rates have been there historically. And we did about 380 last year. So, from that point of view, I think it's probably more helpful to look at those trends over the last 2 years, which has been approximately a bit more than a 20% PAT growth consistently. So I think one, maybe refer to that without probably giving exact numbers for the year ahead. Just
mathematically, you should be in the vicinity of 460 to 500 crores, but you don't want to comment on that. Hopefully next time around we'll get a concrete guidance. Final question from my end before Mangalam comes in again. There is this fear because of what happened with Dreamfolks, and the issue that the airport authorities will like to directly get into the space which you are currently dominating. What is your comment on that? Do you see it as a risk, or do you see that as it is you're partnering with them, whether it's the Adanis, whether it's the GMR, company, so they're already getting their share of the pie. So you don't believe there's a risk to your business, or do you think that what happened to Dreamfolks could also happen to you all?
Right. So exactly as you say, we've got deep partnerships with airport operators. These are great things. We look at them ultimately in operating in these airports, the vision they have, and executing that, trust they have in us. And we actually take the real estate and build these units. We operate, we build these units. So maybe looking at the particular example of Dreamfolks, there. So we tie up, for example, our lounges there. We are actually the operators of the lounges. So we would go tie up, whether it's a Dreamfolks, we tie up with airlines directly, we tie up with banks, so we have multiple types. And therefore, when a middleman goes, like, recently at many of the Adani airports, there's quite a bit of technology coming in, the Adani Digital, for example, leveraging that, getting a direct tie-up at those airports with, those
So Adani and GMR are not a risk to your business, right?
That's right. They're partners with us, correct. So
what we
understand, the partners who ultimately are running the operators.
What we understand is that the Adanis may be talking to other players as well, the likes of Premium Plaza, etc., for some of their marquee hotels, or rather airports. So just wanted to understand, how long is your relationship with them? When do those contracts come up for renewal?
Right, so these contracts we have generally are long-term in nature. These tend to be 8 to 9 years on average there, and actually going longer these days. So many of our contracts actually are there for the long term. So when we're doing it actually in terms of where you see we actually operate in a joint venture with our airport partners, particularly talking about Adani and GMR, the examples you give. So actually our real estate is run together with them. This is the best practice of both coming together. You have a strong operator with us and airport knowledge in terms of them. So I think that coming together is where our business actually works. It works through a joint venture. With both investing.
Right. And a final question before we let you go, Varun. You've raised 2,000 crore rupees. The entire thing is an offer for sale from the promoters. Promoters still hold about 86% stake. So they'll have to bring it down to 75% over the next 3 years or so to meet the minimum public shareholding norms. So the other 11%, will that be an OFS as well? Because from the looks of it, you don't require cash. So just wanted to understand how that will go.
Right, no doubt. From a cash point of view, while the business doesn't need, we've got a little more than 600 crores of cash. We have no debt on the books. From that position, we're quite well capitalized for growth we're quite enough of cash for growth capital. But from a point of view, we've just done this journey. Our focus was getting this over the line. We've not had the chance to actually think in terms of that. We have a 3-year journey to get there and how we probably approach it. So that's where we are in terms of, obviously we'll have to get there from a 25%. And as promoters, we're committed to this business and have significant stakes still in the business to grow it.
All right, Varun, enjoy the day. We'll interact with you more often. As you say, you believe that the big names like Adani and GMRs, they're partners. So you don't believe it's much of a risk to your business. Congratulations on the listing. And Mangalam and me will look forward to chatting up with you in the coming quarters as well.
Thank you, Nigel. Thank you, Mangalam.
All right.